What is up, guys? The doctor is back in the office, and today I'm bringing you a special Valentine's Day tier list of UFC fighters that would help you and support you throughout a breakup. Let's say you got broken up with by your hot ass girlfriend. Which UFC fighters are going to build you up emotionally and physically and make sure that you are the best possible person that you can be, and which fighters are going to keep fucking tearing you down and making sure you don't ascend whatsoever. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and thank you for all the support over on IG and TikTok. Let's start off with, in the A tier, the Eagle himself, Brian Ortega, a guy who has been in a lot of high-profile relationships. Obviously used to be engaged to Tracy Cortez, and now I think is in a relationship with Mackenzie Dern. So obviously he kind of knows how to deal with these big star women. And face it, when the Tracy Cortez breakup happened, a lot of people clowning him, saying this guy fumbled a 10, blah, 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 blah. Then he put out that funny-ass tweet where he was like, you guys don't really know what a fumble is, man. I mean, it's all part of the story. This is my shitty Brian Ortega impression, by the way. It's all part of the storyline, bro. A fumble is when you accidentally lose the ball, but I threw that shit away, intentionally. So it's not really a fumble, bro. It's all part of the storyline. The Eagle will rise again tomorrow. That's Brian Ortega, bro. He doesn't think he fumbled Tracy Cortez. But look, he moved on and got Mackenzie Dern. That's a good fucking step up, depending who you ask, if you don't like Latinas or not. I feel like Brian Ortega, obviously a dude who's very knowledgeable in jiu-jitsu, and make sure you stay grounded in training and knows what it's like to fumble a bad bitch. Regardless if he wants to say that he fumbled Tracy Cortez or not, he lost on a bad bitch. And you in this scenario, you just lost the baddest girl of all time. And Brian Ortega is going to say, there's always a next one. In his case, he got Mackenzie Dern. So he's going to push you through and get you to your Mackenzie Dern. That's why Brian Ortega is going to be in the A tier. All around, cool-ass dude, very chill. Feel like he'd be very supportive. Moving on to probably one of the most obvious S tier names you could have. Jiri Prochazka has to go in the S tier. Talk about one of the nicest guys of all time. You get broken up with your girl, you go to the gym, Yuri's there, and he's asking you, he's like, what has happened? Again, this is all shitty impressions. If you're coming here for impressions, don't fucking come here. Go to bedtime. He's just like, he's talking to you, and you're explaining to him what happened. And then he proceeds to take you to the fucking forests of Croatia or Serbia, where the fuck Yuri's from. Czechoslovakia. I'm blanking on where the fuck Jiri Prochazka is from. But he takes you to these random forests. You take these scenic-ass National Geographic pictures under like a fucking waterfall. And you just have a great time where you're getting locked in emotionally and physically. A guy who will just tell you there's always another girl, always another fish in the sea. Jiri Prochazka, one of the nicest dudes around. And in training, he would push you. He would tell you, you don't want to be a loser again, even if you're not really a loser. Jiri Prochazka is going to push you to become the best possible version of yourself. And if you got broken up with, this guy is going to be right in your corner trying to push you to be the best possible, not only person, but fighter you could be. Jiri Prochazka, easy S tier. Moving on to a B tier fighter, and that's going to be Merab. I don't know if Merab's ever actually dated a girl, because the guy's absolutely insane. He's jumping off of fucking waterfalls and falling into and nearly dying and killing himself, hitting rocks while jumping off of these waterfalls. But is a guy who is around a lot of women, so I'd imagine he at least knows how to please them to some extent. I don't really know how much relationship advice he could give you about getting his heart broken, because the guy doesn't really seem to like form long-lasting relationships with women other than Nina drama. We don't really know what's going on there. So I feel like if you break up with your girl and you tell Merab, you're just going back to the jacuzzi with Merab, just playing with each other's feet, and then he's taking you out on a night on the town and you're just fucking all these hot-ass chicks. That's what Merab's going to do. He's just a guy's guy. If you're looking for your next relationship, maybe don't hang out around Merab, because I think he just attracts, whores, essentially. But you never know. Maybe you find a stripper that you like when you're hanging out with Merab. Moving on to another name, and this might be slightly controversial because some people might want him lower. That's going to be Ian Garry. We're going to put Ian Garry, the fellow Irishman, fellow countryman, Ian Garry, in the C tier. Listen, I actually think Ian Garry is like a semi-nice guy. Like, you tell him you break up with your girl and he'd be, respectful and understandable. But then I feel like maybe you do something slightly better in training than him. Like, you drill like just slightly better. Your technique is slightly better than him. Maybe you do a nice outside calf kick better than him. You do a better job with distance management, running away from guys and not taking any risks like Ian Garry. And then he just starts being a snarky fucking asshole to you and tells you that your girl left you for somebody hotter. And that's kind of my thing with Ian Garry. I just feel like he could just be kind of a smug little dick and prick sometimes. So maybe that's why he's in the C tier. He also has a chance of B. Maybe he really is just a nice guy and I just like to shit on him for some reason. But I think Ian Garry is going over in the C tier. Moving on to another fighter in the A tier. Going back to England, we're going to go with Arnold Allen. Everybody has kind of like a friend like Arnold Allen where I don't like, if you're going through a hard time, they don't really know how to emotionally connect with you. But Slimes, that's kind of what you need. A guy who's just going to stay silent. Maybe you just go out to eat together. You fucking, I don't know, play basketball. I have no clue what Arnold Allen does. Maybe just listen to vinyl or play with his fucking cats. But you just have a nice chill day with Arnold Allen. He doesn't really talk to you much about the breakup. He just is there for you silently, emotionally. Just the coolest autistic guy possible. Everybody loves Arnold Allen. Everybody has a friend like Arnold Allen who just doesn't say too much, but it's perfect that he doesn't say too much. He's just there for you, very quiet, very respectful. Arnold Allen is going in the A tier. Moving on to an S tier guy, and that's Volk. A guy who's going to give you tons of wisdom, like adversity is a privilege, as I just go into an English accent right there. Adversity is a privilege. Don't ever count me out. Like, shit, that's it done when you tell him about your ex-girlfriend. He'll tell you he didn't even fucking like her anyway. He's just going to cook you a nice meal, be as respectful as always. Volk is an S tier human being. It doesn't really get any better than Alexander Volkanovski. Keeping that, literally, there's not that much to say about Volk. He's just about as fucking good as it could fucking get. But now we're going to move on to a guy who's on the complete opposite spectrum of Volk. That's Khamzat Chimaev. Khamzat Chimaev, an all-time dick. I feel like if you told this guy that you broke up with your girlfriend, and you're like, oh, I need advice, I need help, Khamzat Chimaev is going to go even harder on you in training. Fucking, like, anybody who's been slammed hard during jiu-jitsu or like wrestling can understand this. Like, slams, you're just not expecting it. Like, you're kind of thinking you're gonna like drill calmly or maybe like, just have like a nice flow session in jiu-jitsu, and then this guy just fucking drops you on your head badly and you gotta like shake it off for a second, be like, what the fuck happened? And this guy be like, brother, your girlfriend, his brother, as soon as they smash every day. Like, he's just gonna be a fucking dick to you for no reason, and you're like, what the fuck's wrong with you? I could see a world, though, where Khamzat Chimaev, like, where the one useful thing he would do for you is as he continuously keeps dropping you on your head and destroying you in sparring sessions, he's just like, I don't know, maybe he just makes like a slight comment, like your girl's new boyfriend is I don't know, fucking that the fucking point doesn't even make any sense. Moving on, Khamzat Chimaev, you're in the fucking D tier, you're a fucking dick. Moving on to a guy in the A tier who probably is a dick, but I do feel like could help you if you're going through a big breakup. That's Ilia Topuria, a guy who recently just divorced his wife, Georgina. She tried to take everything he had. He won the case. He's going to be able to see his daughter a little bit. Good for Ilia. But a guy who, listen, if you're going through a bad breakup and you talk to this guy, he'll tell you, and he'll get you on that fucking rage path. Because Ilia Topuria is moving different. He's hitting the bags at levels we've never seen him hit the bags before. He is training at levels we've never seen him train before. If you break up with your girlfriend, Ilia Topuria is the guy you want in this corner. The guy is filled with rage and anger right now. Justin Gaethje is finished in a couple months. Ilia Topuria is a guy you want by your side following a really nasty breakup with your girlfriend. Moving on to a guy in the S tier, and that's going to be Dricus du Plessis. DDP just seems like the coolest bro of all time. A guy who I feel like even in the Khamzat fight when he was getting, mobbed and just getting drained and getting fucking stuffed out of his mind, he still threw up a fucking smile. He still was positive. He still thought I could just fluke a rear naked choke or a guillotine and win this fight. And that's the kind of mentality you need to have when you get broken up with by your girlfriend. You're like, you're just one away from the next hot chick. And that's what DDP is all about. Good looking dude, a fun time. He'll take you out after you get broken up with. And you just realize that life's not that serious. You just got to let it go. And DDP, just all time ladies, man. All time cool ass dude. Dricus du Plessis is a guy I want in my corner after getting broken up with by my girl to support me emotionally and physically. Not physically, moving. That was kind of gay. Dricus, DDP, I'll say this before I get to Bryce Mitchell. You are a good looking dude. I do not want to have sex with Dricus du Plessis. Moving on to Bryce Mitchell in the B tier. Here's what I'll say about Bryce Mitchell. Love him or hate him, I do actually think this guy is a nice dude at heart. And you might not be all over the God shit or whatever else bullshit this guy wants to spew, but I do think he is a nice guy and could give you words of wisdom. You watch that fishing video with Guru, with MMA Guru. He is an emotionally intelligent guy at times. He could give you legitimate advice about life, how you need to turn to God. So you break up with you get broken up badly with your girl. This guy's going to tell you to start reading the Bible and that you need to turn to the Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Guru, you got to turn to the Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. You got to get a better necktie on Armin Sarkarian. Sorry, I just hit a little shell sun in there. You got to get a better necktie on Armin Sarukian. That's what he's saying to you. He's giving you legitimate advice in the gym, in life. Turn to God. Stop watching CNN. Stop talking to Chad. What's he say? BGT. All that bullshit. He's getting you off of social media and getting you fucking locked in. But at the same time, the God stuff might be a little bit too overbearing. And I don't really know. You might just start laughing at this dude for some of the bullshit that he says. Moving on to a guy in the C tier. And that's going to be Sean Strickland. Sean Strickland, I would actually put him above Ian Garry. He's like a borderline B tier. I could also see this guy being like a Hamza Chimaev where you get broken up with by your girl and this guy's just a dick to you. He's calling you a pussy. He's calling you a cuck. It doesn't even make any sense. And he's just trolling you. He's being a fucking dick, saying you're a beta and that you're, I don't know, you get mogged. You're getting mogged now. Who knows? But I also could see a world where Sean Strickland is being like, fuck all the haters. You're going to fucking bounce back. But I feel like that's only if he likes you. And I don't know how long you've been training with Sean Strickland, if he actually likes you or not. So I could see a world where this dude's either a mega douchebag or semi-helpful. That's why I threw him in C. I'm not too positive that he's going to be the nicest guy. And he's not like super emotionally, aware and intelligent where I think he's going to be entirely supportive of you as you're going through a fucking tough time in your life. But I'll throw him in the C tier just because he's kind of a wild card. I think you're either getting a nice Sean Strickland or a straight up dick. But I don't think, not going to put him on the same level as Hamza Chimaev. Moving on, Armin Sarukian. This might surprise you in the A tier, but Armin Sarukian, this guy, not tied down by any women. He's always down for a fun time. You lose your girl, this guy's taking you out on private jets. You're getting any girl you want. You're just going to have a fun time with Armin. And I do think he's a cool-ass dude. Obviously, he's had this media tour where, he showed that, I don't know, he's just a fucking cool-ass dude, Armin Sarukian. I feel like I'd have a good time hanging out with him. He'd quickly, that would sound kind of gay. I was going to say he'd quickly make me forget about my ex-girlfriend, but that would be so gay. But the girls that he would bring around would make me forget about my ex-girlfriend. I don't have much more to say. Armin Sarukian, cool-ass dude. Moving on to the B tier, we got Carlos Prates. We love CP. Here's what I'll say about Carlos Prates in my hair. Look, turn the shit right there. Carlos Prates, it depends. Carlos Prates could be an S tier for you because if you love smoking cigarettes and drinking and you lose your girl, you're gonna have the best time of your life. I personally don't, but shit, maybe if I was hanging out with CP, I would love to fucking drink and smoke my ass off because I'd be so heartbroken. But again, cool ass guy. Not much more to say. Just a bro. Everybody's got a Carlos Prates in their friend group who's just an absolute degenerate, but is also like a really cool, nice dude at heart. I feel like he would just be a good friend to have in your corner. Moving on, we got two more names left in this video. Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler, I do think is kind of a nice guy at heart, but I just think he's so incredibly stupid that he wouldn't be able to give you any kind of sound advice whatsoever. This is a guy who's been chasing Conor McGregor for years and hasn't gotten that fight. So he wouldn't, again, this is kind of a metaphor. You lose your girlfriend. You don't want to keep chasing your ex-girlfriend. Michael Chandler, in a way, is chasing his ex-girlfriend and Conor McGregor. He hasn't forgotten about that matchup. He'd be a bad kind of person, and his life is a bad symbolism for what you want to do when you lose your girlfriend. You don't want to keep chasing old things. You know what I mean? What's that thing that Adele said? I can't even remember the song. Fuck, this video's all over the fucking place. But Michael Chandler, he's chasing bridges. Is that what it is? I don't know. Somebody in the comments, if you're actually watching this point, can remind me. But Michael Chandler, bad kind of. I just wouldn't want to follow this guy's ideas because he literally is chasing a Conor McGregor matchup that he'll never get. So that means he's stuck up on old relationships. And you don't want to be stuck up on a relationship. You're trying to find that next hot bitch. And you're not going to find that with Michael Chandler. Moving on to our final name. Literally the most obvious D tier of all-time Joe Body Bags Pyfer. Joe Pyfer, you know this guy is going to be the biggest dick when you lose your girlfriend. He is just going to be trashing on you during training, in the gym, to everybody else. It's like you open up to Joe Pyfer, you'll be like, Joe, I'm just not feeling like I just lost my girl recently. Like she left me for this fucking, I don't know. She left me for fucking Conor McGregor. And then this guy's just laughing in your face, being a dick, calling you a pussy, calling you un-American. He's telling everybody else in the gym that you're a loser and that you're never going to find your wife, or just being a fucking dick. And Joe Pyfer is a dick, even though I actually kind of like watching him fight. But that's the list. Video a little bit all over the place, but I really didn't plan this that much. It was kind of like I wanted to put a YouTube video out, so I just came up with this bullshit. But let me know what you think of this list. I think Jiri is obviously the greatest guy that you want in your corner after you lose your girl. This guy is going to have you right, not only physically in terms of you're going to get a lot better in your training, but mentally this guy is going to have you in a good place. You are going to become a samurai. It is necessary. It is necessary. We all go back to his village and we go crazy time with all his friends. That's what's going to happen. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. The doctor is signing off.